Imagine a man, tall and gaunt, walking down a bustling New York City street in the late 19th century. He reaches the corner of the block, but instead of turning towards his destination, he stops. He takes a deep breath, his eyes scanning the geometry of the architecture, and he continues to walk. He circles the entire block, once, twice, 3 times. Only then does he feel the frequency is correct to enter the building. This wasn't madness, this was a calibration. In this video, I challenge the notion that Nikola Tesla's eccentricities were merely symptoms of a deteriorating mind. Instead, I propose they were the deliberate actions of a man tuning himself to a frequency the rest of the world was deaf to. But to understand why he did this, we have to look beyond the alternating current and the radio coils. We have to look at the numbers. Tesla famously stated, "If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe." Most dismiss this as poetic rambling. But what if it wasn't? What if these 3 digits act as the root code for the software of reality itself? Because Tesla wasn't just an inventor, he was a seer who perceived the invisible architecture of energy. He demanded exactly 18 napkins at dinner, because 1 + 8 = 9. He chose hotel rooms only if their numbers were divisible by 3. He was obsessed, yes, but obsession is often the only vehicle for discovering truth in a world content with mediocrity. If I fail to convince you by the end of this journey that these numbers hold a sacred power, then perhaps the universe is truly random. However, if I succeed, you will never look at a simple triangle or a circle the same way again. The stakes are not just historical curiosity, they are about understanding the fundamental laws that govern your own life. We begin not with the machine, but with the mind that conceived it. To understand Tesla's obsession, we must first look at the world the way he did, not as solid matter, but as waves and patterns. Nature follows a very specific binary system. We see this in cell division, the very basis of life. 1 cell becomes 2. Think of a marionette show. The numbers 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5 are the puppets dancing on the stage. They are the physical forms we see, touch, and measure. But the 3, 6, and 9, they are the strings. They are the puppeteer. Therefore, when Tesla obsessed over these numbers, he wasn't looking at the puppets. He was trying to hack the strings. He realized that the physical world is merely a shadow of a higher energetic reality, one governed by this invisible triplet. If you only study the physical, you remain trapped in the loop of 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. To escape the loop, to tap into free energy and infinite possibility, you must access the field of the 3, 6, and 9. Let us venture deeper into this hidden dimension. If 3, 6, and 9 are the governors, how do they interact? Imagine a pendulum swinging. The universe breathes in an oscillating rhythm between the 3 and the 6. In the language of vortex math, the 3 and the 6 represent the 2 poles of energy, magnetism and electricity, yin and yang, the duality of existence. When we double 3, we get 6. When we double 6, we get 12, which is 1 + 2, bringing us back to 3. The energy bounces back and forth, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. This is the heartbeat of the universe. Tesla visualized this not as static numbers on a page, but as a flux field. He saw the 3 and the 6 as the guides for energy transfer. This is why the triangle is the strongest structure in the universe. It channels force distribution perfectly. In ancient sacred geometry, the flower of life is composed of overlapping circles that form a hexagonal pattern, the 6. But the foundation of that hexagon is the triangle, the 3. Because the 3 and 6 are inextricably linked, they form the vessel. But a vessel for what? A vessel is useless unless it contains something. The 3 and 6 build the walls of the corridor, but they are waiting for the king to walk through. They are preparing the way for the singularity. This oscillation creates a vacuum, a space for the highest power to enter. And this brings us to the most mysterious number of all, the number that stands alone, the number that Tesla seemingly worshipped above all others, the number 9. The number 9 is the singularity. In the vortex math circle, while the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 dance in their doubling circuit, and the 3 and 6 oscillate back and forth, the 9 sits at the top, unmoved. It is the axis upon which the universe spins. Mathematically, the 9 is distinct from every other number. Consider the circle, the symbol of infinity and completion. A circle has 360 degrees. 3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. Cut it in half, you get 180 degrees. 1 plus 8 plus 0 equals 9. Cut it again, 90 degrees. 9 plus 0 is 9. Keep cutting. 45 degrees is 9. 22.5 degrees is 2 plus 2 plus 5, which equals 9. No matter how many times you divide the whole, the essence remains 9. It is the holographic nature of the universe. The whole is contained in every piece. But it works in reverse, too. If you add any number to 9, the 9 disappears. 5 plus 9 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. The 9 vanishes, returning the number to itself. But if you multiply by 9, the 9 dominates. 9 times 5 is 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. The 9 takes over. It is both nothing and everything, the alpha and the omega. Tesla realized that the 9 represents the void, the aether, the source of all energy that exists everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. He believed that if he could build a machine that tapped into the geometry of the 9, he could pull energy directly from the vacuum of space. He wouldn't need coal, he wouldn't need oil. He would just need an antenna tuned to the frequency of the Creator. This was the dangerous idea that made him a target. This brings us to the tangible tragedy of this story, Wardenclyffe Tower. This wasn't just a radio tower. It was a machine built on the principles of 3, 6, and 9. It was designed to be a magnifying transmitter, a device that would use the Earth itself as a conductor. Tesla intended to pump energy into the Earth at a specific resonant frequency, creating a standing wave that could be tapped into anywhere on the globe. Free energy, wireless power. Visually, the tower was a masterpiece of geometry. It stood upon a wooden structure, an octahedron pushing into the sky, topped by a massive copper hemisphere. Beneath it, hidden from the public eye, were iron roots penetrating deep into the ground, 300 feet down, mirroring the height above. As above, so below, a perfect geometric reflection. Tesla had secured funding from J.P. Morgan, the titan of finance. But Morgan was a man of the material world, the world of 1, 2, 4, and 8, the world of counting money and commodities. When Morgan realized that Tesla's tower wouldn't just send radio signals, but would transmit free power that couldn't be metered, he asked the infamous question, if anyone can draw the power, where do we put the meter? Because profit requires scarcity, and Tesla was engineering abundance. The funding was pulled. The tower, this magnificent cathedral of the 3, 6, and 9, was never completed. During World War I, it was dynamited for scrap metal. Imagine the heartbreak of a man who held the key to utopia in his hands, only to watch it dismantled by the greed of men who could only see the puppets, not the strings.
But Tesla's obsession wasn't purely mechanical, it was deeply spiritual. He famously said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence." The 3, 6, and 9 were his bridge to the non-physical. In many ancient traditions, the number 3 represents the Trinity: Father, Son, Holy Spirit, mind, body, soul. It is the stabilizer. The number 6 represents the material world, the structure, the hexagon of the beehive, the carbon atom. The number 9 is the enlightenment, the completion, the nirvana. Tesla was likely tapping into Vedic philosophy. He spent time with Swami Vivekananda, a Hindu monk who introduced him to the concepts of akasha, the aether, and prana, the life force. Tesla realized that his equations were merely describing in math what the mystics had described in Sanskrit for thousands of years. The aether is the 9. It is the fluid medium that fills all space. Contemporary science threw out the concept of the aether, replacing it with the vacuum. But Tesla insisted it was real. He felt it. He visualized his machines as merely pumps or water wheels placed in a rushing river that was already there. He wasn't creating energy. He was interrupting the flow of the 9 to siphon off the 3 and the 6. This humility is what separated him from Edison. Edison thought he was the creator of light. Tesla knew he was just the receiver. This spiritual alignment is perhaps why he remained celibate and solitary. He needed to keep his own vessel clear of distortion to receive the transmission.
Why is this knowledge not taught in schools? Why do we learn rote memorization, but not the magic of numbers? Because a society that understands the 3, 6, and 9 is a society that cannot be controlled. If you understand that energy is abundant and available, you cannot be sold energy. If you understand that your consciousness influences reality through vibration, you cannot be sold fear. The suppression of Tesla's work wasn't just about money, it was about maintaining the status quo of the material paradigm. After Tesla died alone in the New Yorker Hotel in room 3327, 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 7 equals 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6, government agents seized his papers. The Office of Alien Property Custodian swooped in. Truckloads of documents disappeared. What was in those notes? Designs for the death ray? Perhaps. But more likely further refinements on his understanding of the ether and the vortex mechanics of 3, 6, and 9. We are living in a civilization built on the doubling circuit. More consumption, more growth, more matter. 1, 2, 4, 8. We have ignored the governing pattern of 3, 6, 9. The result is a disharmonious world, out of sync with nature's resonant frequency. We are brute forcing our way through existence with combustion and explosion, rather than oscillating with the natural pulse of the universe. Tesla predicted this. He saw a world of pollution and war, inevitable consequences of ignoring the fundamental laws of harmony. Today, however, the code is resurfacing. We see a resurgence of interest in the 369 method for manifestation. While often reduced to a TikTok trend, the core principle remains valid: focused intention. The method suggests writing down your desire 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. Why? It creates a rhythm. It imitates the vortex. In the morning, 3, you set the intention to the universe, the initiation. In the afternoon, 6, you amplify it, integrating it into your daily material reality, the oscillation. At night, 9, you release it into the void, the subconscious, the ether, the completion. You are programming your own mind using the geometry of the universe. But beyond self-help, we see scientists revisiting Tesla's work. Quantum physics is beginning to sound a lot like mysticism. Zero-point energy fields, quantum entanglement, the observer effect, these are modern terms for what Tesla saw in his mind's eye. We are realizing that matter is mostly empty space held together by vibration. And if we can tune that vibration, we can change the matter. The 3, 6, and 9 are the tuning forks. We are standing on the precipice of a new scientific revolution, one that requires us to pick up the keys Tesla left on the table 80 years ago. The most important laboratory, however, is not in a building. It is the human body. You are a bioelectric machine. Your heart beats in a rhythm. Your brain waves operate in frequencies: alpha, beta, theta.
Your DNA is a spiral. You are constructed of the same geometry as the stars. When Tesla spoke of the key to the universe, he wasn't just talking about generating electricity for light bulbs. He was talking about unlocking human potential. The numbers 3, 6, and 9 map the flow of energy through your chakras, or energy centers. The lower centers deal with survival, the material, 1, 2, 4, 8. The higher centers deal with intuition and connection, the 3, 6, 9. To obsess over these numbers, as Tesla did, is to constantly remind oneself to look up, to connect with the higher loop. It is a practice of active awareness. Every time you see these numbers, it is a glitch in the matrix, a reminder that there is more to reality than what you can touch. It is an invitation to step out of the chaotic doubling circuit of stress and survival and into the flux field of flow and creativity. Tesla lived in that flow state. That is why he could visualize inventions in perfect detail before ever putting pen to paper. He was accessing the cloud storage of the universe, the Akasha, through the portal of the 9.
So, was Nikola Tesla mad? Or was he the sanest man in a mad world? He died penniless, feeding pigeons, regarded by many as a washed-up wizard. But look around you. The alternating current that powers the device you are watching this on, that's Tesla. The radio signals transmitting this data, that's Tesla. The remote control, the electric motor, Tesla. He built the foundation of the 20th century, but he tried to build the 21st century too early, and we weren't ready. The obsession with 3, 6, and 9 was his legacy to the future, to us. It is a breadcrumb trail left by a giant, leading us out of the labyrinth of scarcity. The key to the universe isn't a physical object, it is a perspective. It is the understanding that everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. The 3, 6, and 9 are the coordinates. Now you have them. The question is no longer, why was he obsessed? The question is, now that you know, what will you do with the key? Will you continue to walk the block blindly, or will you stop, observe the pattern, and finally enter the building? The universe is waiting for you to dial the code.